How can a teenager lift a 3,000-pound tractor with his bare hands? Especially a teenager who is not a weightlifter. A while ago, on a farm near Rome, Maine, a teenage Arthur sprang into action when he heard his friend Lloyd scream from under such a tractor. And somehow he lifted the tractor enough for Lloyd to wriggle out. And according to Calvin Miller, who published the story, love motivated and enabled Arthur to do the unthinkable, to free his friend. The woman in today's gospel was heroic and motivated by love. As a woman in Hebrew culture, she could not speak to a man in public. Also, she was asking favor for a girl. In addition, she was a Canaanite, a Greek, a foreigner, and a Gentile. Canaanites and Hebrews had always been enemies for centuries. From her perspective, her circumstances were against her. But for love, she dared. She dared to ask the Lord. And love was the driving force, and she was full of love for her daughter. This love motivated her to take bold steps without concern for herself. And she was willing to be vulnerable. She was willing to be humiliated for what she wanted. She was blind to shame, humiliation, and arguments. As Jesus speaks to this woman, his words appear harsh even to our ears. His words must have shaken her to the very core of her being. But when love and faith are in action, any barriers can be crossed. And she was even ready to be considered as a dog, taking food crumbs thrown out from the children's table, or for her daughter's healing. In a more current setting, the body of a young Japanese mother was found in the cracks of a ruined house after a massive earthquake which struck Japan on March in 2011. The collapsed house had crushed her back and head as she appeared to be kneeling over something. Under his mother's dead body, they found a 3-month-old boy wrapped in a flowery blanket. Inside the blanket, there was a cell phone with a text message. If you survive, remember, I love you. Obviously, the woman had made the ultimate sacrifice in saving her son. And speaking of earthquake, the news of the devastating earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria a couple of days ago is very fresh in our minds. And 2 stories that were carried by television struck me as I was reflecting on today's gospel. And one that of a woman who delivered a baby under the debris of the building that crushed her. And second, of lifeless bodies of a dad and mom in loving embrace, and in the middle of them was their child. Sadly, the child too was not alive, and God helped them. And reflecting on the actions of these 2 mothers, the teenager, and also these victims of this earthquake, I wonder why some mothers even consider killing their unborn babies, much less they carry it with an abortion. Do not let a day pass without showing your love and faith in action. Let us not leave a stone unturned for the best that we desire for our loved ones, just like the Canaanite woman in the gospel today.